Hello, welcome back. I'm Tanya from Tanya's Witchy Kitchen, and how are you doing today? So it's been about the beginning of the year. I had been doing some things, just researching things on rebranding and, different things like researching like blogs and stuff like that on how to make your brand stand out or how to make it memorable. And one of the things is have something, to really symbolize yourself and to make it stick in people's minds, So, which is where the butterfly stamp came in on the soaps. Everybody seems to have their own stamp. And I was just like, I actually thought of doing the Tiny's Witchy Kitchen. But I've always thought of having the butterfly in it. Okay. And so I, after some debate and lots of thought processes and thinking, and I decided that I was going to bring the butterfly into my brand. This is just a basic Vistaprint template. Seriously, I did my business cards this way. And my packaging, you saw the stickers, those were just created on Avery, and I picked the wrong butterfly, so because I couldn't remember what this one looked like, and so I just, it was one of those things where I just needed to get the process going. I have a girl that is I don't really work with her. She's, a work associate, and I think I've told you this. She puts this Monday mantra out every Monday for the company. And one of them that's really stuck with me was, there's two. One was, if you want to, you have to get up determined to go to bed satisfied. Yeah, I like that one. The second one that she just came out with was just do it. Don't sit on it. And we're not talking about shopping sprees here. It's kind of like when you have those goals and you have your steps to the goal planned out, just do it. Stop planning, stop agonizing, stop, just do it. Which is kind of what happened with the hair videos. Seriously, you guys, I just couldn't get started on them until I finally was like, I have to do this. And I sat down literally one weekend and planned it all out. And it took me another, few weeks of doing, and and there's so much to hair stuff. Like, I tried to keep it simple. I didn't want to go into like what do they call them, anionic and cationic and all these different types of what blends this to it was a whole process of stuff that I was just blown away by, but it was so much fun once I got started and committed to doing it. And it was kind of like the whole, I'm going to call it rebranding, but I'm not rebranding. Does that make sense? It's just upping my brand. It's improving my brand. It's making it mine, even though this isn't copyrighted. I don't think you can copyright clip art, but it works for me because I don't have to mess with anything. Does that make sense? The legal stuff. And I didn't want to change my name. So the color scheme is different because when I started, it was kind of like these pinks and purples and happy colors. Even though I wasn't too keen on the brown, but it really does work. I love it. I fell in love with it, and it was just like, boom. I researched other stuff and I couldn't find anything else that was really me. And I'm sure you're wondering, like, why a butterfly? Why a butterfly? So, first of all, the butterfly symbol has a lot of meanings, tons of meanings. But one of them was it symbolizes transformation, beauty, rebirth, hope, freedom, endurance, and love. One of them was the positive transformation and hope during a dark time and new beginnings. And then the basic one was the metamorphosis from the caterpillar to the chrysalis to the butterfly represents change, rebirth, and personal growth. Some people believe that seeing a butterfly is a sign that you're about to go through your own transformation. But I just feel like I have grown so much and there is so much more growing to do yet, but it just like it fit. It fit. So you're going to see the little butterfly stamp on all my soaps from now on, unless I forget to do it and I can't do it, but it's, I it's a thing. Or if it's a soap that I can't, no, it'll be on like 99% of the soaps. Yes, but I'm super excited about it, and that was with the packaging, the little sticker. So I'm hoping to redo my soap labels, even though you saw them, and hoping to redo like a lot of my labels just to get the butterfly little symbol on there, even if it's just a little smidge. Like if I put the emoji on there, I don't care. You see the emoji at the end of my videos where it says Tiny Switchy Kitchen and the beautiful butterfly. It is a different butterfly. I know that. You don't have to tell me, but that was the thing. But anyway, okay, so much. So this is Herbal Spotlight. I know we're not in the kitchen, but that's because it's occupied by a bunch of boys and I don't want to go out there. And I delayed with this because, yeah, there was so much other stuff in the works. But anyway, this is Herbal Spotlight on mint flowers. Mint flowers. Don't knock those things. This is the first year that I have actually been like, wait a minute, they're mint flowers. There's got to be more to these than just the plant's dying, it's dead, what am I going to do with it? It's going into remission. All false. It's all a myth. So we are doing the Herbal Spotlight on mint flowers. And 3 things: dream big, be true to you, you are worth it. And let's go check out this Herbal Spotlight on mint flowers. Okay, and while I am making this beautiful bouquet of mint flowers, you have to pick the mint flowers, and I probably put too much water in there. You only need a couple inches of water in the jar, but whatever. So about mint plants themselves, if you want to know more about mint, I will link my mint video from last year and all the different things you can do with it, including a delicious sauce. I can't remember what it's called. In the video in the description box below. But first, plants. Once mint plants flower, that does not mean they are dying. It does not mean they are done. It means that sometimes if they get too hot, if there's not enough shade, if there's not enough water, they will just, that's what their plant nature does. However, the leaves do lose a little bit of potency, but not to where you still can't use them as usual. Okay? If you're going to remove the flowers, that helps with preventing self-seeding. I didn't know that was a thing with them, but it does prevent self-seeding. And one thing with mint is harvest it often. If you want it to get bushy and big, you need to chop it off. Like, I don't pick leaves. My daughter picks leaves. I will hack it off after it's so big, kind of like chives. I will hack it off because it will regrow. Just give it, half sun, half shade, and lots of water. Not lots of water. I'm lying. A good amount, water, like in your herb garden, water. But they don't die, and it's not the end of the season for the mint. It's just that they're going to the flowering stage. And I used to pick the buds off because I didn't know. I just thought, whatever. But there's so much you can do with them, and I was just fascinated by them because I came back from our trip, camping trip, or whatever you want to call it. Not really camping, but came back, and my mint, of course, that was overgrown with the dill, had just blossomed into all these blossoms, and they were just beautiful and this purplish white, and I was like, there has to be more to do than just hack these flowers off, right? So mint flowers are edible, and they're milder than the leaves. So if you find the leaves too potent, you might really enjoy using the flowers as in a tea. These are actually spearmint flowers. I also had peppermint flowers, which I took apart and did all the things, and I smelled like mint for like a whole day. and a half, but it just comes out of my pores. But so they can actually, when you smell them, they can include a little hints of lemon, grapefruit, apple, that sweet fruit kind of flavor, smell. So if you want to use them fresh, you can use them as, you can make herbal ice cubes. You can make hydrosols for flavor. They're great for flavor and aesthetic, meaning looks. Make a tea. You can infuse them and make a simple syrup, kind of like we did with dandelions and all these other things. You can make ice cold infusions or turn them into cocktails. They're yummy in sorbets and ice cream. You can decorate a fruit salad with these mint flowers. Actually, another really crazy thing is to decorate a cake or dessert. And you can use other edible flowers and make a dazzling creation. Like, seriously, can you imagine? It'd be so cool. They're also great for enhancing salads. Now, oh, and don't forget hydrosols. Did I say hydrosols? I cannot remember. Also, they're very aromatic. You could put some on the stove on a low simmer. You know how you do like pine needles or oranges and cloves? Yeah, and just as an aromatic natural scent in your kitchen. Now, talking about if they are dried or pressed. If you're going to use them in edible projects, they're only good for about 6 months. If you're going to use them in a bath or a craft or something like that, those are good for 1 year. If they don't smell like mint when you crush them, you can probably throw them. You probably figure they're just not, they've lost their potency. But dried or pressed, they can be used for craft projects. Also decorate cakes and desserts and dress up fruit platters or veggie trays. You can actually pull apart the flower head and use it as edible confetti. I was going to do this with my grandkids, but, chocolate chip cookies don't last long, and it just seemed like a rushed week for us. But seriously, I was going to like sugar cookies with buttercream icing and sprinkles of these beautiful mint flowers. Okay, so continuing on, you can also use them as a drink garnish. You can make a minty bath. You can add alone or with other flowers. Add some Epsom salts. You can, if they're dry, because they're dried, remember, you can actually blend them with Epsom salt and keep them in a little Ziploc baggie or, plastic jar, and, when you want a bath. Actually, another thing is papori. You can put them dried in a little sachet and put them on your bed, so when you go to bed, you can smell that. Mint and mint flowers are great for stress relief and digestive discomfort. If you want to preserve these, like what I'm doing here, you could I was trying to play flower arranger, so, that's fine. But you could put them in a jar with some water and then kind of, I think the one person said saran wrap and put them in the fridge. This sucker was so huge, there's no way I would get them in the fridge like this. But if you'd saran wrap around it, and they'll stay for a couple days, but you need to change the water every couple days. I've had mine on my counter for almost a week, and they've actually, I will show you, the blooms have actually opened up more. I've been clipping them off and using them for different things, and I've just been enjoying them, like literally right on my counter. It's just been beautiful. You can make a mint oil rub. Take a couple ounces of your carrier oil, crush the leaves and the flowers. I would prefer this being dried. That's just my personal preference when making oils. But they say put it in a warm place for 24 hours. I would leave it longer, strain it well, and apply topically to soothe sore muscles. That's a great idea. There's oh boy, I can't even say this word. tabbouleh salad. I will put that word down below. It's got bulgur wheat and mint in it. You can use it as bug repellent. The Farmer's Almanac actually says if you're in the garden, just crush some leaves and rub it on you. Certain bugs don't like it. I'd love it if it worked for mosquitoes. Ants, if you have ants, just crush the leaves and scatter them wherever you see the ants, or across your doorways, like the outside of the doorway if you can. It'll keep ants away. You can make this healthy shamrock shake, which just kind of was a little too healthy for me. It had spinach, banana, avocado, and mint with some other things. I will post the link I'm pretty sure I still have it saved, so I will post that link below. The one thing I really wanted to do was this Lemonana. It's the Israeli beverage of summer. That was in the Farmer's Almanac in the comments, and it's basically sugar water, mint leaves. I was going to add mint flowers to that too with lemon juice, ice, and you garnish it with the flowers. That sounded really good. It was like a thick slushy because you blended it all together. Yeah. Did I say water? I think it's supposed to be ice. Sugar ice. Oh, 3.5 cups ice. Yeah. I will post that link below so you can find it. But I just had so much fun. I was so amazed with these. I've never really thought to, I just thought, yeah, like everybody else, it just meant the plant was going to keel over and die pretty soon. It was going to stop producing. And that's not it at all. Not it at all. There's lots of uses. I didn't like the way they dried. I'll show you how they dry. But just smelled, so great. And, you'd walk by the kitchen and you could smell this mint. Oh, I love mint, and they were just so beautiful. They're so pretty. It was almost like my fall lilac. Does that make sense? Like spring, you look forward to the lilacs, and they're so short. They had such a short season this year. It was just crazy. I just love my lilacs, and then it was so fun to come home and be like just blown away by all the mint flowers that I had in my garden. So I'm going to show you a cold water infusion that's really, really simple to do. This is the picture I think I talked about in one of my other videos that I got for making water. What was that one? Oh, lemon balm. Yeah. So basically, you just want to strip the leaves from your mint and put some flowers in there. It's a simple way to start. I don't remember how many I put. I think I put 6. And this is actually a lime. Did you know that ripe limes are yellow and they have a milder flavor? Yes, according to my son. But this was a lime and it didn't turn yellow, and it's yummy. Yeah. So I put about 3 slices in there. You could cut them in half also, and then I sliced the other 3 up and I put them in my fridge for the next time I make water. Now, I don't know how many people do this, but I actually do add honey every once in a while to my water, just because this is actually gumweed honey. Isn't that funny? Just because it's it gives it a sweet taste. And in reality, you are making tea, it's just a cold water infusion of tea. And so I like honey in my tea. And I don't fill this to the top because I'm usually the only one drinking it aside from one of my other sons. And it will last on the counter for 2 days. After that, it kind of starts to ferment. And it's actually not that bad because I don't, it's all closed up and everything. But this picture doesn't fit in my fridge, much to my dismay when I got it home. Very sad. So, the next step, of course, is to add some yummy ice cubes to it. And before you ask, yes, I'm going to show you how to make herbal ice cubes. Okay, and for this project, I'm only going to make a few because that's all I really wanted. So basically, just cut your mint flowers off your stems or however you're doing it, and stick them in the ice cube trays. It's that simple. You can do this with chives. It works great for chives or dill or any other herbs that you are going to use. And if you used like chives or dill, you just throw them in the soup with the whole thing like that. You don't have to put them in oil. Water works great because you have to use water for your stuff anyway, right? Wow, I don't know what's going on in the kitchen. But just fill up your ice cube trays. You're going to have to check them halfway through and push those flowers down because they're not soaked and they're not saturated, so they like to sit on the top. But I think I had them in there for maybe 45 minutes, and then I went back in and just pushed them down so they would stay down in the ice cubes a little better. And when they're all done, they're still not total, but they're immersed. And then when they're all done, you can add them to you don't even have to add them to your water. You can add them to a seltzer drink. You can add them to a tea, anything, cold tea, like iced tea. Here we're talking tea. I'm like, you know what I mean? The traditional iced tea, or seltzer water, or anything like that, wherever you want to use ice cubes. You make a punch and you can have them floating on top. They're really pretty. It's hard to see because there's already flowers in here, but I'm saving one for my cup so you can see it. And then when it's nice and cold, which mine doesn't get totally cold unless I put a bigger ice cube, but I didn't want to do that for this demonstration, then you just top off your cup and you have some glorious, yummy flavored water with no calories and lots of herbal benefits to it. Yummy. You can't go wrong with mint flowers. Okay, and just a really quick, isn't that cool? He's cool. Yeah, tip, if you want to press them, like if you want to dry them, I would just leave them on the paper and let them dry. To press them though, I get lots of big, thick books. I have one on the base to keep it nice and flat, and then I will stack like 2 or 3 books on top of it, and leave them there for about a week just to keep them pressed down flat, nice and good. Don't put them in the books. Don't put them in the books because sometimes you forget about them and they mold. I would know. Don't put them in the books. And then after a week or so, you can take them out and you can, whatever reason you were pressing them, if you were putting them on a cake or something, but they're not as pretty. They kind of lose the color a little bit depending on how they dry. But yeah, I mean, aren't they just gorgeous? They're like I said, they're like my mini lilacs. I don't know what to say. I was just fascinated with them and so glad that I did something about it. It was one of those days where I had 15,000 things to do. That's my little grandbaby. Enjoying the flower buds. But yeah, it was a busy day and I'm so glad I took the time to research all the things that you can do with mint flowers. They're just gorgeous. And as always, I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.